packaging choices. And what do those packaging choices have? What impacts do they have on our existing supply chains and our distribution channels? Well, you can see it already in tomato sauce. They're going back to glass. Glass is heavy. You can't ship it as far. It costs more. What are the impacts of that if you're a manufacturer distributor? Instead of 95% of the tomato sauce coming from California, you may see a little more regional approach to producing tomato sauce. Particularly when our energy sector has said, in his first public speech, new energy secretary from California, said by 2050, California's Central Valley, which is the largest agricultural region in the world in terms of productivity, may not produce any food. That's hopefully within my lifetime. So I get hit by a bus. So information, transparency, disclosure, trust in the marketplace are having huge impacts on the way companies operate. And that's only going to continue going forward. And that's, certainly good in the short term, even despite the disruptions that it has in the way we go about our daily lives. But it's essential in the long term. And in the long term, we have to have both information and trust. In the short term, you can have one, but in the long term, you have to have two. You have to have both information and trust. In the short term, you can have trust if you don't have information, if the institutions are good, or you can have the other. But in the long term, we have to have both. There's an interesting article in this most recent, or a column in the financial page of the most recent New Yorker, talking about markets and regulation and the need to re-legitimize the act of regulation in order to bring trust back into the market. We've so demonized all regulation de facto in these broad sweeping strokes of political rhetoric that now nobody trusts any regulation. But I think there's a more subtle and nuanced aspect of that as well. And this goes back to my own career working on environmental policy for years and years and years. We haven't had any significant environmental policy for 20 years. Well, and we haven't done any real serious environmental regulation for 20 years probably. Well, if you're